Hello and welcome to the Gaming Codex, the show where I try to reveal to you the hidden meaning of video game related terms and words. And today's term is RTT, Real-Time Tactics. There is no dictionary definition for RTT, but there is one on Wikipedia which we may consider a general definition. That being that the RTT is a subgenre of tactical war games played in real time, simulating the considerations and circumstances of operational warfare and military tactics. It goes on to clarify that it is differentiated from real-time strategy gameplay by the lack of classic resource micromanagement and base or unit building, as well as the greater importance of individual units and the focus on complex battlefield tactics. RTTs have their origin in some of the first war games ever created for computers. In games like Eastern Front, created by Chris Crawford in 1981, where you would not actually command units necessarily in real time, but they would fight in real time after being assigned precise orders. The genre would not stray far from military-based scenarios for most of its existence, all throughout offering players the chance to relive some of history's greatest battles in video game form without the hassle of having to create each individual tank, feed, clothe, or train each soldier and just have them participate in their deciding battle. The degree of realism in the RTT genre has always varied, some games going to extremes by simulating even morale, while others just sticking to some statistics regarding unit power. Although it can be argued that many party-based games that offer the option to play in real time alongside the traditional turn-based mode in combat can be considered real-time tactics games, up to a point, XCOM Apocalypse being an example, the game that redefined the genre was Commandos, offering a fresh new perspective on the genre, one that focused on stealth, one that focused on coordination, one that did not put an emphasis on direct military confrontation but instead on very small unit tactics. So small you could count the members of a unit on one hand and that would be all you had. This concept would be refined and re-implemented in many games in later years, such as the other Commandos titles in Desperados and Robin Hood, and in the recent Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, and would even offer other games of other series the opportunity to branch out into new genres, like Follow Tactics being a real-time tactics game with an RPG substrate. And the wargaming aspect didn't vanish from the genre, instead it learned from what Commandos had brought to the table and evolved into something like Men of War, a series where although you can control dozens of units, they do not lose their individual value and can still be used to carry out very precise tactics, whereas something like Total War is entirely focused on the wargaming aspect, where an individual unit doesn't matter that much unless maybe they are a catapult or an elephant. Now, what is the popular definition for real-time tactics? Well, that would be RTS. In the general mindset, there is no differentiation between RTT and RTS. That subtle difference just vanishes for some people. Though to be fair, I've seen reviews of games like War of Magic made by Stardock that compared that turn-based strategy game with RTS, as in saying it was a bad RTS, even though it was a turn-based game, but that's a whole other matter. Real-time tactics aren't what you would call a favorite of the general population these days, although in some places in the world like Central Europe and Eastern Europe, it is still quite strong, series like Men of Honor being a prime example. Now, what is the marketing definition of RTT? None. In terms of marketing, like to the general population, it is dead, so nobody will market an RTT as being an RTT. They'll maybe market it as being a single-player MOBA, or a tactical strategy game, or in worst cases, an action RTS, because trying to tell people that this is a tactics game really doesn't pull in that Call of Duty crowd. Well, in most of the world it doesn't, but again, in Russia, Eastern Europe, Central Europe, the RTT is still doing okay, and it doesn't need a marketing definition because people know what an RTT is. So we close another chapter in the Gaming Codex. Tune in next time when we will tackle a whole new concept. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process. Or you could consider buying my book called Tale of Doom. Volume 1 is out now and available for just $2. And as always, if you thought it was horrible, you know where to find me and complain about it.